Alright, so here is the road towards Yonge Church, and there's a nearby metro in the area, and just past the Doris Avenue. And it's a neighborhood area where the kids also, there's a nearby school and all, but on this area specifically is the small Korean Korean and Canadian community where the H Mart is close by. So that H Mart is like store for many people from across Asia just comes by and get their produce. And even though the virus is seen as really crucial and problem to the community, there are still people who ghost inside. So here I am taking you guys to the nearby bakery. We're not going inside the H Mart just because I would like to show you all the stores and the shops, and I have limited time because my dad has to pick up something to metro and we have to leave. Well, obviously we really can't stay outside for too long. We try to be careful. This is Church Street and it's a really windy day today. So here it's normally loud in this area. I remember the van attack also happened here, and I was in high school when that happened. But this is an area known to always be alive and always stay up late. But because of the virus, it seems like it's really quiet. So you see that the shops are really multilingual, multi-ethnic. As I'll just take it out from Penny Cook's reading, Translanguaging in Semiotic assemblages. Says here that linguistic landscape research has shifted its understanding of language from focus of enumerable language and signs in the public domain to include greater contextual, ethnographic, and historical understandings of text and the landscapes on page 270. And this area is very common to those who visit here. They see many multilingual languages on this door. There are Chinese, there's Mandarin, there's Cantonese, Hangul, and Katakana. On even this Demandner is home for elders, and its name is Italian. And it's also coming from Penny Cook's reading. She mentioned how markets, gardens link along language, culture, and culinary trading lines to markets, shops, and restaurants. As local economies' tastes change, so too does this network on page 275. As you see here, many restaurants, shops, beauty, cosmetic shops are all written for the target audience, which is an elder from the Demoner probably, but yeah, from target audience, which are the Chinese community, Korean community. And even though there's a Pizza Nova for many Italian too who lives nearby, especially the elders from the residents, and you can see there are so many bubble tea places. You can even recognize this as Toronto. Toronto is really a diverse community, but if you come across this street, you'll see that it's a small Asian town. And even though the virus is rising, the case of the virus is rising, it's still going. The community is still going. People still come here, and there's not much vandalism, since people are really disciplined in this place. I mean, this community, they're really disciplined to treat their surroundings and to respect other culture. As you see, there's many things going on here. This is like the Korean area. The Gongcha is a really known, I'm just running, really known Korean bubble tea place. So here is iBake, and you see there's a poster nearby for those who are wondering about the virus and all, that they put up that poster to make sure that to let the customers know that they're still open. And this is like a small store too for students who need to grab and get their breakfast and their noodles, their cakes. And I will just want to connect that to media and the city. Alright, I'm just here inside a Starbucks near Finch and Chesswood, and they are not actually closed, even though the virus is currently putting people in scared and also a scared and fearful situation in the community. And even though it's not a very known community, but it's really a busy drive-through. Starbucks is the only drive-through in the district of North York. And here since I work here, I have the access to go inside, but normally only people who have vehicle can order to the store. Here we go. So just to explain why I pick going in Starbucks and leaving and capturing Starbucks along with this not very known neighborhood is to contrast how the bottom top and top down mediated city function in just in a community where commercial buildings, government buildings, and also residence area work all together within just one in a small community. And here I am actually going to Alness Street, and it is a commercial area. So here captures, that's the Starbucks where I just went a while ago, and there is a dressing like a private company that runs dresses and retail. I don't exactly know, but it is a fashion designer shop which demonstrates top-down mediated city. But being in this community, it seems like it is hidden. But as a shop itself, they still run, and they actually get a lot of people calling them, but not now, since the prom has really canceled. There's also a nearby church, which I highly doubt still runs, but it is a Hungarian church nearby, and it seems like it's a historical place now. And so here, the buildings close to the Starbucks where I work is actually an office building, and a lot of law firm people work there too. But the infrastructure doesn't reflect really a sophisticated and city like. It doesn't really portray a city like vibe to the community. But if you go inside, it is really a pleasant place to be. And if you have problems as well, you could find that there are so many offices there that could provide help and information. So here is a plaza. There is like a government food quality office here where people who actually work there go to Starbucks, and I get to know them, and they work with the government, and their office is situated here in the near Almas and Finch West and Chesswood. There's also a nearby A&W, and this A&W, along with other bottom top commercial buildings and shops, are this A&W is very significant because it's a very city-like place to be, and it opens 24 hours, which gives access to people who drives across the street, and those who have long travel, they can just stop by and go there because it's open 24 hours. So this place, so here are the list of the offices of commercial buildings. Yeah, and there are more out there too. The buildings here are really not high rise, but they're really low rise, and they're built to not seems like they are trying to compete with one another, unlike in Finch, unlike in Yonge and Church Avenue, along North York, where I encapsulate the neighbor, the Asian and Torontonian community, and the neighborhood where a lot of people from Asia also start their business there, and it still keeps on running. And even when they actually don't get a lot of customers, because it all seems like they serve just similar things, there's always going to be something different about them that makes them keeps on going in their business. And it seems like I'm just capturing the road, but it was actually a snowy day, but then the snow just stopped that day. And just to inspire this scoop on Giorgio's media in the city, he contrasted top-down processes of neoliberal cosmopolitanism, which reduced the city to a space of homogeneous corporate consumption, with bottom-up dynamics of cosmopolitization, where new media can become tools for marginalized population, refugees, racialized migrants, precarious workers to find a voice, reach out, produce local community initiative. And this community has both of the world, the bottom top and the top down. The bottom top people are those who work in law firms and the buildings nearby to them, and on the left side are the bottom top community, the marginalized people build their businesses, but at the same time they all work together as one. And you see like a Euro shawarma here, but then I tried to go inside and actually we'll see who are the people who work there, because shawarma is very known in Middle Eastern too, and there are a lot of like Middle Eastern restaurants here. The Pita Ikran is a Lebanese restaurant, and here there are no other languages like multilingual. So you see that the workers are actually pretty Middle Eastern. And so the signage here, they're all in English. The names of and infrastructure could differ really on which restaurant, but then most Asian restaurants show their language. They show more of their language than other nationalities. Like for example, Iranian restaurant would write in Persian, But here there's not much of Persian communities, but only like a lot of like Russians too, but they're mostly at Bathurst. And here we're driving now away from Finch and Chesswood, and we're going to a top-down building that's a Good Life Fitness, and there's also an office there, and that's it. The office is mostly the office that's in there is a YMCA office, and they help a lot of refugees. So this area is very multicultural. It really describes Toronto, but it seems so hidden, and it's a gem, truly, and it got most of everything. They're literally everywhere. But here, there's like a top down